of course a pleasure for us at College Times to talk to two seriously talented men, I would say. We have right now a national award-winning actor, plus an award-winning writer in our midst. So, Manu, just tell us, how, book to movie adaptations always a challenging, more so probably for the director. But how do you feel, considering that you wrote this book nearly 10 years back, and after watching
about film adaptation?
Yes.
Yeah. Maybe when I was maybe immediately after the book was released, I may have been possessive, but surprisingly, I was not that afraid of giving away the rights simply because of the people who were involved, and it only escalated. First there was lovers of the book. In fact, a former journalist called Sejal Shah, who put her own money to buy the rights, the initial part of the rights, and then got a talented screenwriter called Bhavesh Talia in, and then they got Sudhir Mishra, and then Nawazuddin. So it was all escalating. So I was increasingly feeling very reassured. Just that cinematically, I have my own vision. So I was able to understand that people can have their own visions, and creative people are not there to follow instructions from someone else, and they do their best work when they can add their own layer to what they have bought. So I understood all that, in today's time there is no finality to things. So maybe there would be another serious man, there will be another serious man, so never know.
Mm-hmm. My next question would be to Nawazuddin. You've spoken famously in an interview about how you couldn't get past a couple of pages of the book. I'm not too sure whether Manu Joseph was part of that conversation. But coming on to a movie like this, how much of you are a director's actor, and how much do you like to bring your own input into a movie, especially one which is based on a very famous and very well-received book like Serious Men?
मनु जोसेफ हमेशा मीटिंग में भी रहते थे और सेट पे भी काफी रहे हैं और हमेशा डिस्कशन वी डिस्कस अबाउट द कैरेक्टर मेनी टाइम. सो जो फीडबैक आता था उसी को लेके मैंने कैरेक्टराइजेशन के बारे में सोचा. तो it becomes so easy to of course it's a very complicated character at the same time, but because of discussion on the script or novels, so mere liye as an actor I got so many things about the characteristics and all of the Ian Money.
Sudhir, if you really look at it, the movie finally, which has come out on Netflix, is often thought of as a filmmaker's baby, and you've already seen the reaction to it. What was the main challenge when you took on an award-winning book and decided to turn it into a movie?
It's kind of scary because the better the greater the book, or the more difficult, because it works as a book, then it works as medium, it's only with words and narration and observations, and you can't shoot that, right?
Black coffee.
Transform it into into a screenplay, a blueprint for a film. You have to concoct maybe some. You have to take away some things. You have to first decide the strand of the book that you want to take, because you can't do everything. So we took the father-son story, and Acharya comes into the scientist comes into the film as much as where Ian Money works and his interaction, his viewpoint, his eavesdropping, because he's also an eavesdropper, and he's soaking in information. So we took those strands and finally I think we managed, I hope we managed well, and so I took that with Bhavesh Mandalia, the scriptwriter, and his team of, we first went away from the book in a sense, in order to get the book correctly on film, right? And then you can't mimic somebody else. The moment the film starts mimicking the book, you can't shoot, like that, like a coverage of pages of the book. So you have to go away. So that we did, and we, took responsibility in a sense. I mean, I have to make it with my own head, my own mind. My own influences will necessarily come in, good or bad. My upbringing, my background, the films that I've made, my experience of the city, which is, so all of that will come in, my previous films. So, I mean, the film exists on its own, and the book exists, of course, on its own. But the film would not have existed without the book. I mean, it's clear the characters are from there. So in that sense, there is a number one and number two, then comes first, right?
Okay.
It existed before the film did. So I mean, but then it has and Manu was around a lot of the time, and every stage of the screenplay he was sent it. We talked, he was there in the shoot. He was our Tamil consultant as well, and so I mean he was, and so we had a lot of fun making it, together in a sense, and I really enjoyed working with the whole team.
So you're basically saying, when you mentioned that the book can stand on its own and the movie on its own, so for fans of Manu Joseph who have read Serious Men, the book, what is it that the movie how would the movie differ from that for people who are already well versed with the book?
It's kind of adapted from, inspired by, triggered by the book, Serious Men. And then it's something else, right? So you should not, you should see it on its own. You should forget, you should then see it on its own, not come in with expect the film to give you the experience that the book did. But, there are many who have read, who have seen the film and the book.
Yes.
They are wise enough to differentiate and like this on its own and like this on its own. I mean, that's the way it should be.
I also found it kind of ironic as well as interesting that the book was written 10 years back, and the themes of class and caste divide and the politics and the education system that they speak about is still as relevant in modern India today as it was 10 years back. How do you believe that would resonate with the audience today? Or when you wrote it, Manu, did you ever have that feeling that, it's something that would stand the test of time?
It is unfortunate that some aspects of the book have aged well. We still have those things which are relevant. And some aspects are actually, in the book, are irrelevant, which makes the film a much fresher look. For example, it shows BDD Chawl as a difficult place, but it is not as miserable as the book portrayed, So the fact that BDD Chawl today is the lower middle class of Bombay is captured very well in the film. While I started writing the book 15 years ago, I took 7 years to complete the book. So BDD Chawl was a much more miserable place. Because not only was it a difficult place, they were also poor. So now there are air conditioners. Now they travel by cars. Cab is not a special luxury, and it's not like AC. They go to Udupi AC as a special event. They go to much better places. They take vacations. All those kind of things have happened. But there was a certain anonymity of caste in Bombay. Like people would run away from the villages. Like Ambedkar said, villages are romanticized by people like Gandhi, but for people who have to suffer, the villages right at the bottom, it's easy for the Banya, but people have to suffer. They enjoyed Bombay, It could be anonymous. That is still true, but compared to the time when I started writing, you thought that things would improve even more, but some aspects of the society are regressing, that way. So that is there, So some things have aged well, and some things have not aged very well. And also, one of the questions you asked, Sudhir, about what the fans of the novel will enjoy about the book, it's a character of Iron Money. So the film has invested all its time on Iron Money, while the book had divided between many things, and Iron Money was one of the 2 or 3 important aspects. But the film is entirely in love with Iron Money, so I hope that that's something that they will enjoy.
Nawazuddin, coming to you, you have of course spoken about how there are some kind of similarities between Iron Money and your own kind of growth within Bollywood, about how you came into the industry, and we'd like to say right at the beginning, we mean this as a compliment, but you're one of those actors who have a face and a demeanor which can easily blend into the background, but at the same time stand out. So how did you manage to do that, or how do you manage to do that in all your movies, and specifically for Serious Men, where you play such a strong character like Iron Money? Because you don't play a victim, I mean, which is what people usually imagine a character from that community to be. But you play him with a lot of heroism. So how do you manage to balance it out?
क्योंकि कैरेक्टर की जो कॉम्प्लेक्सिटी है वो ऐसी है कि एट द सेम टाइम ही इज he have good quality also, bad quality also, मतलब कि जो एक ह्यूमन में होती है, जैसे अक्सर होता है हिंदी फिल्मों में कि एक राइजिंग होता है और बहुत अच्छे काम करता है, हीरो बन जाता है ना, वो और आज भी ज्यादातर फिल्मों में ऐसी फिल्में पसंद की जाती है आज भी, चाहे वो कंटेंट बदल गया हो, लेकिन आज घरेलू घर के ऊपर फिल्में बनती है, लेकिन वो वही है जो इनर होता है या कैरेक्टर का, मतलब जो कॉम्प्लेक्सिटी, जो रियलिटी होती है, वो हम कैरेक्टर की अभी भी नहीं दिखाते एग्जैक्टली, अभी भी हम बचते हैं, वो डरते हैं उसको, उस कैरेक्टर को पोर्ट्रेट करते हुए डरते हैं हम लोग, क्योंकि हमारे अंदर है कि नहीं, हमें अच्छा इंसान, पॉलिटिकली करेक्ट इंसान दिखाना चाहिए, अच्छा इंसान दिखाना चाहिए, उसकी राइजिंग दिखानी चाहिए, वो इंस्पायर करेगा लोगों को। हम अभी भी उसी झामे में फंसे हुए हैं। अय्यन मनी का ये है कि वो बाय हुक बाय हुक बहुत सारे गलत काम करके सोचता है, जुगाड़ करके सोचता है कि मेरा बेटा जो है ना, ही शुड टेक अ लीप, भले उसके लिए मुझे चाहे थोड़ा सा एक दूसरा रास्ता अख्तियार करना चाहिए। तो इस तरह के जो कैरेक्टर्स होते हैं थोड़ा ऑडियंस में थोड़ा कम पसंद किए जाते हैं, क्योंकि ऑडियंस का होता है कि हमें आइडियली बहुत ही आइडियल कैरेक्टर चाहिए देखने के लिए, भले ही हमारे अंदर चाहे कितनी भी कमी हो, लेकिन हम जो कैरेक्टर देखना चाहते हैं वो आइडियली बिल्कुल करेक्ट कैरेक्टर हो, वो इंस्पायर करें जो। बट अय्यन मनी ऐसा नहीं है, अय्यन मनी से आप हेट भी कर सकते हैं, एट द सेम टाइम उससे प्यार भी कर सकते हैं, इस तरह का कैरेक्टर। और वो यही चैलेंज भी होता है, एक्टर के लिए भी चैलेंज ये होता है जिसमें इतनी कॉम्प्लेक्सिटी होती है।
And again, like what you mentioned, I think that's what is most appealing about the movie. Of course, you have the class divide, the caste, everything else playing out, but it's the father-son bond, and as a father that he actually becomes a hero. I mean, and it's something that I guess everybody can connect to, wanting better for your own children than what you have kind of enjoyed in your own, or in your old days. Was that something that was that resonated with you, that based on your own journey?
Yeah, of course, it's very very connected to me actually, because I also always think that I have to be like I have to take a leap, kind of, I want to be, because I came from a small town, so I always thinking I did so much of hard work and to do something, so in that sense I have the relativity from this character.
Serious Men, of course, is releasing on Netflix this Friday out here. Now, do you believe that this OTT release is something that the movie deserves, in the sense you're going to get an audience actually that you deserve, rather than, if ever you had a theatrical release, it would probably be just word of mouth, or people just walking in, those who are invested or want to spend that kind of money on a movie. Does that make a difference to you? How do you look upon this OTT release?
No, it's good. Serious Men is meant for Netflix. It's a Netflix original, right? So it was made for Netflix. It was made with Netflix. It is what it is in a lot of ways because of Netflix, because of freedom, that there are no conventional pressures to do this or that, right? So, I mean, that said, we have made it in a way that tomorrow you want to show it in a theater, please do. It will stand on its own. It's a piece of work, I mean, I enjoy making films. I enjoy the craft of it. I enjoy the cinematography, the sound design, the background, the production design. All those are things that, talk.
Thank you so much for taking this time to talk to us. We wish you all the very best since the movie is officially releasing on Friday. Thank you.